Last week we talked about this new experimental diet idea of mine. Remember, I call it the Catalytic Diet, and I told you how I found that it's making a difference in my own body, my own sugar levels, and I'm pretty excited about sharing that. I'm amazed how much mail that generated. How many of
There's a
you
lot.
typed in questions wanting to know about it? And I realized that we kind of went through it fast. And what we failed to do is give you a good understanding of how to do it. Now, I have to warn you that when you eat, you're giving your body everything that it gets to grow, to build itself, to give you energy, to help you empower your thinking and so forth. It's very important that you give your body a wide diversity of ingredients of food. And it's important that you get food from the different groups and so forth. And so as you look at this new diet, those of you that are experimenting with it, I want to make sure you realize that you want to have enough good healthy food. And since this diet involves reducing the amount of protein, the amount of meat that most of us eat, you need to make sure you don't get carried with it. If a little bit less is better, then none is great. No. You need to have that ideal amount of meat every week to give your body certain nutrients and ingredients that are very, very important to your health. If you don't have the 9 essential amino acids, for example, you can't build muscle and you can't do other things. So please do not hear me say what I'm not saying, which is you shouldn't eat meat. It's just that you don't need this much, you need this much. And to put that into something that's easier to understand, I asked Dr. Paget Monet if she would explain in details that even I can understand
Oh my goodness, that's not how it works.
how we can eat if we want to experiment with this healthy diet.
Okay, before I start, we have a question. Yeah, we do. They're wondering, this is from our discussion last week, if it's just for diabetics or if it's for people who have certain kind of health illnesses or if it's for healthy people as well.
Well, that's a really good question. And yes, the people that can benefit from this diet are limited to one group of people. It's just people with red blood.
Okay. Don't look at me like
Now,
that.
on her planet, I don't know what color it is.
We haven't shared that
But
part
if you
yet.
have red blood, then I think this will help. And remember, the basic thesis of this diet is that the body has within it a mechanism so that if you're getting too much carbs, too much sugary products in your body, that the body, instead of just always storing it as more and more and more fat, it has the ability to dump it like a spillway in a reservoir, so you don't have to build up all of that fat. And it is a great way to regulate our health. So it's a diet that should be, in my way of thinking, it should be for everyone. And I won't say that means you all have to do it. I'll just say that I believe it will help people. And really, if you want to get the long and short of the diet, I mean, the first thing that anyone should know, with whether they're doing this new catalytic diet or any diet, there are some things that just aren't good for you. I suggest you don't drink poison. And if you drink soda pop with a large amount of high fructose corn syrup, it's going to do you harm. Okay, it's been shown that it's just too much fructose for the body. And now clever people that are required by law to put the ingredients on the container have manipulated it so they don't say high fructose corn syrup. What are the ways they're saying it now?
Well, they're saying natural sweeteners.
Natural sweeteners. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful with that. Another thing you really want to avoid, for example, is something called trans fats. And a lot of people agree with those. I also think you got to be very careful with concentrated sugar. That mean like candy and things like that. And you also need to watch junk food. And to me, the real definition of junk food is something that some clever people made that has ingredients in it to make you think you just can't stop eating it. And things like fruits, vegetables, nuts, grains, fibers, things like that are really good for you. So that having been said, now we can talk about this new catalytic diet. And in this diet, you eat good balanced diet of health and vegetables and all these different foods, but you eat a portion of meat that is smaller than some Americans eat. And Americans eat more meat than anybody else. It's because we have the best farmers in the world. And we have the meat, but we don't need to eat too much. If you eat too much meat, especially red meat, is very high in protein, and you get a protein overload in your body, and then it shuts down this mechanism of throwing out the extra sugar when you have too much. It's a simple thing, but it really, really seems to work. And I've been watching my sugar levels for the past week, and it continues to give me very, very good results. And I'm now able to eat things that I couldn't eat before. I had some wonderful apple pie, which I haven't had for years, and I had some ice cream with it, which I haven't had for even more years because I couldn't eat them. And now I can, and I'm seeing my levels stay in line. So it's not just for people that have become diabetic. It's for anyone that really, really wants to be healthy.
Okay.
Okay, does that answer that question?
Yeah.
Probably more answer than you wanted, but
No, it goes right
she's
in.
not in charge.
Really?
Or at least that's what she tells me
I'm
as
not.
she tells me what to do.
I'm not.
Okay, so tell us exactly how much protein, fats, and carbohydrates we should have.
Okay,
how
for
we
the
can do this.
example we want to use is for a 15-year-old going into 16 years. And so if we put up on the thing, so this comes right out of your Catalytic Diet.
Right, and so there's a little
Yeah.
pamphlet. This
Yeah.
is the back cover of it that you can get. If you want to go to rogerbillings.com, you can find this little pamphlet and download it, or you can even find a link to it on the Science Live page.
Mm-hmm.
But this chart tells you how much of which kind of food you need for each age group, each person. It's changing by the amount of calories that you need.
And it also depends on whether you're male or female as well.
I'm male.
Yes. So
You
you
can't
get
tell?
more. You get more food than
She
us.
can't
No.
tell.
But it does change.
Yeah, we get more
So-
food because, why do we get more food?
Because you guys are the hunter-gatherers.
We're the gather.
You think, I don't know. You tell me. I'm going to just step in. Wait. So what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next slide.
The
Okay.
next slide, thank you.
Now that right there is what a typical day can look like. So you
Looks
have
more like a food than a day.
Yes, it looks like this could be like this. Okay, so breakfast, you have up there bananas, fruit, yogurt. And in that, so what we're trying to do is we're trying to do the proportions you have of the 10% protein, 30% fat, and 60% carbohydrate.
Okay, so you're doing it for a 15-year-old person?
Yeah, 15 going to 16.
So for a 15-year-old person, average person,
Mhm.
how much protein should they have? And you're looking on that little brochure of mine to get the number.
Yep,
And how many grams of protein is it for a 15-year-old?
so 58.
58 for a 15.
Yeah, but when you're going to 16, so it jumps quite a
Okay.
bit between.
So what if we go to an 18-year-old person? How many grams
Well,
is it?
that is 70.
70 grams.
Mhm.
So the amount of protein depends on how big you are, and
Mhm.
bigger
How
people,
you're growing.
older people, fast-growing people should eat more.
Mhm.
So I want to go back to, can we do 16 years old?
Yeah, that would be good.
All right, 16 years old. How many grams of protein?
For a male, it's 70,
70. For a lady,
58.
58.
Yeah,
Hmm.
kind of different, isn't it?
Now that is an average,
Mm-hmm.
and it can change by how active you are and so forth. But just think about that: 70
Yep.
and 58.
Yes.
So that means that 10% of the energy that you're getting from your food is coming from protein. And let's just focus on the guy number. And by the
Okay.
way, these numbers vary from person to
Mhm.
person. So even if the girls ate the same as the guys, it'd be pretty darn close.
Yeah, it
So
would be.
let's focus on the guys for a
Okay.
minute. So you eat 70 grams of protein,
Mm-hmm.
which means 10% of your energy is coming from protein. And protein would be foods like
Meat, nuts, legumes. So beans and peas and
eggs.
eggs.
A lot of foods that are high
A
in
little
those.
bit of milk
Okay,
and cheese.
so
Mhm.
we're going to go for 70 grams
Yeah.
from protein. How much fat is the ideal amount of fat to consume?
93 grams.
93.
It sounds
So
like a ton.
We're
but
getting
it's not.
10% of our energy from protein. We're getting 30% from fat. So it seems like it should be 3 times 70,
It does.
except fat is more dense in the energy it holds.
Mm-hmm.
So you only need how many grams of fat?
You need 93 grams.
93 if you're 16 years old, okay? Now, fat comes in a lot of varieties. Some fats are better than others. For example, unsaturated fats, mono and polyunsaturated fats are really good for you. But the important thing on this diet is, of all the fats that you consume, keep it in about that limit. So 30% of your energy is coming from fats. So if you're eating 70 of protein, of meats and so forth, then you're going to have 93
Mm-hmm.
of fat. Now what about carbs?
420.
And carbohydrates, you have 420 grams. So that's where you're going to get most of your energy. And what are carbohydrates?
Bread, pasta, fruits, vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
and then
So
little bits
this
of
carbohydrates are things like sugar,
yeah,
things like flour, things like that. So you can have a lot of nice things.
einkorn.
But the secret of this diet is to keep it in that ratio.
Yeah.
Some people cut out all the carbohydrates and they do just a keto diet. They just mainly the protein. Some are doing all sugar. And it turns out that if this is kind of balanced, it seems to work. So give us some more details.
Okay. They said if I went like this, that means next slide. Ah. Okay, we'll do that one. So this is what a lot of Americans eat right here. It is...
That's food.
That looks like food, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It has carbohydrates. It has protein. It has fat.
Good,
However,
that's what we need.
yes. However, if you look very closely, those chicken nuggets are deep fried. So the fat that they are made in is not very healthy for our bodies. Yeah.
So they're probably fried in olive oil.
Oh, in heavens, no.
It depends on the kind of oil that
It
you fry
does.
them in, doesn't
Yeah,
it? Mhm.
it does. Next one. This one is the watchful one. So on that is all of the delicious things that makes us excited and what we call food. But it really isn't, because food is something that nourishes our body. And this is the sweets and the treats that we could have once in a while. But inside of these are what is high fructose corn syrup. A lot of high fructose corn syrup is put into that. And trans fat. Trans fat raises your LDL cholesterol, lowers your HDL. And I'm going to get in trouble for saying this because around here there's a word that is special. It's called hydrogen. So what happens with this is if you look on the ingredient label, so you guys get to become your own sleuth. You get to start discovering what is in your food. But if you see the word partially, that should be a red flag. If you see partially hydrogenated, it has the word hydrogen in it, then that means they have messed it up. And it's not good.
So now, wait a minute.
I knew it was
Did you just
happen.
bash hydrogen?
I did. I thought, am I going to do it?
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So hydrogen is a very nice gas.
It's a very nice gas.
But somebody found out that oil is expensive, and they need a lot of oil to cook things at fast food restaurants and that, and it's expensive. It became a big expense.
Mm-hmm.
So somebody thought, what if we could make that oil last longer, go further? We could make a lot of money. And they found out that if you take oil and you hydrogenate it, in other words, you cook it with hydrogen going through it, sometimes on a catalyst, that the oil will increase in volume to double or 3 times the volume of the starting oil, and it makes very cheap oil per gallon.
Mm-hmm.
And so it became very popular. But they found out that it's not a very good fat, and I would suggest you avoid it. Keep the hydrogen. Don't use it for hydrogenation.
Drink the hydrogen water, huh?
But now, going back to those sweets, this diet isn't saying you can't eat sweets. It is saying that the amount of carbohydrates that you should have for your diet is about what? For 16?
420.
420. That's a lot of carbs. But it says if you're eating concentrated sugar, also known as candy, that it'd be very, very easy to get too much sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I like is M&Ms. Mm-hmm. And I like them because they're little, and you can have one a day, and you probably won't overload your sugar too much.
Who has one a day?
It's so much about portions. There's nothing wrong with meat. In fact, it's very good and healthy for us. But you need to cut it down to just 70 grams if you're a 16-year-old boy. And we're eating sometimes 3, 4, even 5 times that in one meal, and that's not good. But the concentrated sugar is dangerous because just a little teeny bit is a lot of carbs, and it knocks you clear off. And there are a lot of other things that your body wants with the carbs. For example, if you get some of your sugar, some of your carbohydrates from eating fruit, you get fiber.
Yes.
And fiber is so important to your digestion and your health system. And so fruits and vegetables are sure a good thing. Now, we have sweet teeth. Actually, we start out with sweet teeth, and first thing, they all fall out because we eat too many sweets. So then we get permanent teeth. But we really need to control the amount of sugar that we eat. We need to control the meat. We don't need to eliminate it. We can't live without carbohydrates, so we just need to balance it. And if you really want to do this, look at the meat. Now, I had a beef steak last night, and I calculated what my ideal grams of protein were for the day, and I got a beef steak that was little. It was like 3.5 ounces, and it was about right for me. You can get a steak at some of our fancy restaurants that are 10 times that. I mean, those are crazy. Most of them, though, are about double or triple of what we should have. So it's really about how much. And you want to avoid some things. But you can have some ice cream, and you can have a very small amount of these other things you like. And, you know, if you really adhere to that, you can start really enjoying your treats more because they're more special.
And then if you look at the serving size on the ice cream per se, it's half a cup. If you see half a cup for a guy who really, I mean, it's 2 bites. For a girl, it should be 4 bites. But it tells you the portion size there. And when you start really learning what it is, you start changing what you're going to have for the day.
Well, that sure explains everything to me. I thought you're supposed to eat the whole container.
A pint of ice cream.
Okay, good.
So the slide I want to go to now is the one with all the colors. This excites me because I think it's fantastic that we live on an earth like this, and we put seeds in the ground and we water it, and somehow all the different types and species of food come out. And
of the same dirt.
Of the same dirt.
All
And
because of the DNA in the seed.